Hey guys, welcome to more Maths with Melv. If you're finding these videos useful and you haven't already, then please do get subscribed to the channel. Also, don't forget to give this video a cheeky little like and share around with your friends. I love hearing from you guys, so please do leave a comment letting me know how you're getting on, and if you have any requests, then leave me a comment. Without further ado, let's get cracking. Hey guys, in this video we're going to take a look at plotting quadratic graphs. So these are the types of questions where you're given a table with some missing values, you're given your quadratic equation, you need to fill in the values and then plot the graphs, and some of them also have extension where we're then asked to use the graph to solve our quadratic equal to some number. So, I'm aware that this says at Excel at the top, AQA people, that does not mean this isn't relevant to you. Just managed to find this cheeky little topic booklet on the internet. So, there'll be a link to this in the description of the video down below. So, I would highly recommend printing this off, having a go yourself. The best way to learn maths is by doing maths. So, with that out of the way, let the good times roll. Let's plot some graphs. Okay, question 1 then. So we want to complete the table of values for y equals x squared plus x. So remember, an equation like this, it's a recipe. This tells us how to get our y value when we know what x is. So our first missing value in the table is y when x equals minus 1. So we're substituting minus 1 into x squared plus x. So let's go up here. So if x equals minus 1, then y is equal to, now be very careful here when you've got a minus and you're squaring it. We wouldn't write it as minus 1 squared like that, because you would then get minus 1. We think of it as minus 1 in a bracket with a power of 2 on the outside. And then we've got plus minus 1. So minus 1 squared is minus 1 times minus 1, and negative times a negative is a positive. So we've got 1, and then we've got plus minus 1. Now whenever plus and minus meet like that, the minus wins. So we're left with 1 minus 1, which is going to give us 0. So our y value when x is minus 1 is 0. Okay, next we're looking at the value of y when x is equal to positive 1. So if x is positive 1, then y is 1 squared plus 1. Now 1 squared is 1 times 1, which is 1, plus 1 is going to give us 2. So when x is 1, y is 2, and then our final value that we need to find is y when x is 3. So y will equal 3 squared plus 3. Now 3 squared is 3 times 3, which is 9, plus 3 gives us 12. So we've now completed our table of values. Part B asks us to draw this quadratic on the grid below. So what we have in our table are sets of pairs of coordinates. So the very left one tells us when x is minus 3, y is 6. So we want to plot the point minus 3 6. So I'll do the first couple of these with you, and then I'll do the rest off camera and show you what we should end up with. So we need to find then the point -3, 6. So remember, coordinates are always your x value first, and then your y coordinate along the corridor, up the stairs. So we need to find -3 on the x-axis first of all. So this is a sharp way over to the left, and then we find 6 on the y-axis, which using the scale they've got, we're going up by 3 squares. So -3, 6 is this point here. The next point we want, we've got when x is -2, y is +2. So we find -2 on the x-axis, and then we find 2 on the y-axis, and that's our point. So -2 is just to the right of -3, and then 2 on the y-axis is 1 square up. So there are our first 2 points plotted. I'm going to do the rest now off film, and then I'll come back and show you what it should look like. Okay, so these are how your points should look when you've plotted them. The last thing we need to do is join these guys up. Don't use your ruler, try and freehand it. So before I do that, it's really important to remember this isn't art with Alex, this is maths with Melv. No artist am I, so we're definitely entitled to laugh at my ability to draw these things, but it should end up looking something like this. So that's what our graph should look like, something like that. Now a quadratic should always look something like this. So say that we had 1 point or more than 1 point that didn't fit in with this general curve shape. It's actually called a parabola. Then that's a nice little indicator that something has gone a little bit off in your sketching or your plotting of your coordinates. You will always get either a happy quadratic, which looks like that, or if you've got a negative x squared term, you will get an unhappy quadratic that looks something like that. So if your points don't fit, something has gone wrong. So when maths tells you something has gone wrong, we should listen, because it doesn't really do it very often. Okay, jumps again for question 1. Okay, question 2. So the same setup. This time we want to complete the table for y equals x squared minus 2x minus 4. So our first missing value in here is y when x equals -1. So we need to substitute x equals -1 into the right hand side. So for x equals -1, we're going to get y equals -1 squared minus 2 times -1, and then -4 on the end. So -1 squared is again is -1 times -1, so that's +1. Then we've got -2 times -1, a negative times a negative gives us a positive. So -2 times -1 is +2. And then at the end we've got -4. So 1 plus 2 is 3, -4 gives us -1. So when x is -1, when x is -1, y is also -1. Okay, so moving on, we now need to find the value of y when x is equal to 2. So when x is equal to 2, y is equal to 2 squared minus 2 times 2 and then minus 4 on the end. So 2 squared is 4, 2 times 2 is 4, so we got 4 minus 4, and then we got another minus 4. So 4 minus 4 is 0, minus another 4, we have got minus 4. And then we need to find the value of y, I think when x is equal to 4. Yep. Okay, so now we're substituting in x equals 4. So when x is equal to 4, y is 4 squared minus 2 times 4 minus 4. So 4 squared is 16. Then we've got minus 2 times 4, so that's minus 8. And then we've got minus 4 in the end. So 16 minus 8 is 8, minus another 4 is positive 4. So when x is 4, y is 4. So again, we've now got our table of values of coordinates that we need to plot. So the first guy we're looking for on the left, when x is minus 2, y is 4. So we want to plot minus 2, 4. So again, I'll do this one with you, and then I'll do the rest of film. So where is minus 2, 4? Well, this time we've got a slightly different scale. So we want to find minus 2 on the x-axis, and then this time the y-axis, every one big square is worth one space. So we got minus 2 over on the left on the x-axis, and then we need to go 4 squares up. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This point is going to be there. Okay, so I'll plot the rest now, show you what it should look like. Okay, so these are how our points should look once we've plotted them, and now somehow I've got to attempt to join them up freehand, and hopefully we will get something that looks like this. Okay, so there's our graph. Literally took 100 attempts. I know it's a little bit rough. Turns out it's quite hard on my tablet. So again, we've got the nice symmetrical parabola shape. All points lie on it. It's a nice sign that he's right. Okay, jobs are good. Okay, question 3. Similar setup again. Complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus 4x plus 2. So our first missing y value is when x equals minus 1. So when we get our pen out, it works better. So when x equals minus 1, y is minus 1 squared minus 4 times minus 1 and then plus 2 on the end. So minus 1 squared is positive 1. Then we've got minus 4 times minus 1. Minus times a minus is positive, so that becomes plus 4. And then we've got plus 2 at the end. So 1 plus 4 plus 2 on a good day is 7. So there's our first missing value. The next one we need to find is y when x is 2. So let's just get rid of this stuff. So when x is 2, y is equal to 2 squared minus 4 times 2, and then plus 2 at the end. So 2 squared is 4, minus 4 times 2 is minus 8, and then plus 2 in the end. So 4 minus 8 is minus 4, plus 2 gives us minus 2. So when x is positive 2, y is minus 2, and then finally we want to find y when x is equal to 4. So when x is equal to 4, y is 4 squared minus 4 times 4 plus 2. Now 4 squared is 16, which is exactly the same as 4 times 4. So minus 4 times 4 is minus 16, and then we've got plus 2 at the end. So 16 minus 16 is 0, plus 2 leaves us with 2. So there's our table of values. As ever, we now want to plot them. So let's see, the first guy that we want to plot then is minus 1, 7. So let's have a look at finding him, and then I'll do the rest of camera again. So we want to find minus 1 on the x-axis, so that's the very left value, and then 7 on the y-axis. So the plot that the point that we want is this guy here. So I'll do the rest off camera, come back, show you how it should look, and then I'm also going to whack an extra question into the end of this. Okay, so those are our points plotted. Join that up with a freehand line and you will get something that looks like this. Okay, so there's our handsome looking graph. My drawing isn't getting any better, but it will look something like that. So the extra question I mentioned. Sometimes they ask us to use our graphs to solve, say here they might say, solve x squared minus 4x plus 2 is equal to 0, and say use your graph to solve this. So remember that we've plotted the graph y equals x squared minus 4x plus 2. We're looking for the points where that graph is equal to 0. So remember that the graph is y equals this stuff, x squared minus 4x plus 2. So if we're trying to solve this is equal to 0, we're trying to find on the graph where does y equals 0. So what are the x values for y equals 0? Now y equals 0 is the x-axis. So what we want are these points of intersection with the x-axis. So I've got one here, which we would say that, I don't know, x is about 3.3 by my lovely drawing. So that would be one solution. And then the other is this guy over here. So what's that going to be? That's going to be about x equals 0.7. So those are rough solutions using my graph. Yours might be slightly different because your drawing will be slightly different, but it should be somewhere around those values. Okay, jobs are good. Okay, question 4. So we have another quadratic and another table. So y here is x squared minus 3x minus 1, we want to complete the table. So our first missing value is when x is minus 2. So we get y is minus 2 squared minus 3 times minus 2 and then minus 1. So minus 2 squared is positive 4. Then we've got minus 3 times minus 2. Minus times a minus is a positive. So that's plus 6. And then minus 1. So 4 plus 6 is 10. Minus 1 gives us 9. So that's our first missing value. So the next guy is when x is positive 2. Let's get rid of this. Okay, so when x is positive 2, we get y is equal to 2 squared minus 3 times 2 minus 1. So 2 squared is 4 minus 3 times 2 is minus 6 and then minus 1. Well, 4 minus 6 is minus 2 minus 1 gives us minus 3. And then when x is positive 3, we are going to get y is 3 squared minus 3 times 3 minus 1. So 3 squared, 3 times 3 is 9, minus 3 times 3 is minus 9, and then we got minus 1 on the end. So 9 minus 9 is 0, minus 1 is going to give us minus 1. Okay, so there are our table of values. Again, I'll plot one of them, then do the rest off camera. So, first guy we're looking for is minus 2, 9. So, we want x to be minus 2, which is this very left point on the x-axis, and then we want 9 on the y-axis. So, the point that we want is this chap right here. Okay, now I'll do the rest of them. Okay, so there are our points plotted, and join it up with a freehand line, and then we can do part C of this question. Okay, so that's what our graph looks like. So now we can do part C, which says use your graph to estimate the minimum value of y. So remember, what we've plotted is y is equal to this quadratic. So when we're talking about minimum values, we want the smallest possible value that this expression can take. So to find that, we look for the lowest point on our graph. So the lowest point on our graph is right here between these 2 points. So what's the value on the y-axis of this point? Well, it's between minus 3 and minus 4. So I would say, by my drawing, the minimum value of y is minus 3.5. Jobs again for question 4. Okay, question 5. So again, I'm going to smash in a bonus question at the end, and this is also going to be the last question for this video. It's getting quite long, and the sun's out. I want to get my time going. So, here we've got then complete the table of values for y equals x squared minus 3. So our first missing value again is when x equals minus 1. So when x is minus 1, y is minus 1 squared minus 3. Minus 1 squared is positive 1. So we got 1 minus 3, which is minus 2. And then we want to find the value for y when x is positive 2. So we're going to get when x is 2, y is 2 squared minus 3. So y is going to be 2 squared is 4 minus 3 is positive 1. And then finally, for when x is 3, we are going to get, so when x is 3, y is 3 squared minus 3. So 3 squared minus 3, 3 squared is 9, minus 3, which is 6. So there are our values to plot. Again, I'll plot 1. So first one we want is minus 2, 1. So down to our graph, let's find minus 2, 1. So that's going to be this point right here. So again, I'll plot the rest, show you how it should look. Okay, so there are our points plotted. Doing that freehand, your graph will look like this. Okay, that's how our graph should look. So the last question I want to ask is, I'm going to say we want to use our graph to solve x squared minus 3 is equal to minus 1. So what we're trying to find is on the graph, when is the value on the y-axis minus 1. So what we do for this is we zoom in and we want to draw the straight line y equals minus 1. Now that is a horizontal line across at y equals minus 1. So we will get a line that looks like this green chap. So again, this line is y equals minus 1. So what we are after are the x values where this green line meets our curve. So if we zoom in even further, first guy that we want is this chap here. So that's about x equals 1.4, and then the other dude that we've got is over here, and this guy is at about x equals minus 1.4. So our two estimates for our solution to x squared minus 3 equals minus 1 are plus and minus 1.4. Okay guys, that's it for this video. If you want the other two questions from this paper done, let me know down in the comments and I will make it happen. Hope you found it useful. Take care. TTFN.